Three things in life are certain, everybody. Death, taxes, and the third is Richie Port winning up a punchy climb in the Tour Down Under and then not doing anything for the rest of the year in Grand Tours. No, I'm just messing. I think today we knew that with the climb up to Paracombe Road, which you can see here as we transition to the actual parkour for Stage 3 Tour Down Under. Sorry everybody, if you want to actually not know the results of Stage 3 of the Tour Down Under, this is probably not the stream for you to watch, but we knew yesterday when I previewed the stage that this is the sort of finish that suits Richie Port, and we're going to get into just afterwards whether the narrative and me talking about the narrative of, oh, well, does Richie Port just peak for Tour Down Under and peak for Willunga, and he's doing way more Ks in December compared to other riders, and we'll get into that. I kind of think that's a fake news narrative because I thought that, and then I actually went and looked at the numbers. But this stage 3, it was the first sort of major GC stage, and you can see they did these three laps around Inglewood Paracombs in Northern Adelaide, and then they go back to Cuddly Creek. And you see on Gorge Road here. Now, Gorge Road, if you've ever been to Adelaide, beautiful road, flowing descent, if you continue straight onto Adelaide. And Jay McCarthy had a really hard crash today, thank God. He crashed at like 70 kilometers an hour, and he only got skin off, I think it is what it looks like. So thank God, Jay McCarthy, he raced at Murray as well. But he crashed after, I think, on Gorge Road, and there were crashes as well, because as I play this now, they do a really sharp right, and you see that hairpin there, and then they do a sharp right onto the Paracombe Hill, and it's a hard climb, especially this early in the season, and it's the first decisive, or the first change up on GC that we've seen in the Tour Down Under. Was this called the Queen Stage? I kind of have a moral problem with the Tour Down Under in Adelaide really calling any stage the Queen Stage, but we saw what we expected. There's something interesting that happened behind Richie, and this, why do we expect this, you say, Lanterne Rouge? Well, this is not today. This is 2017, last time they went up Paracombe, I'm pretty sure. And this is literally a mirror image of what Richie did today. I think he put even more time in today. Not my fault for the latency, but I think a lot of people remarked, and I kind of tend to agree with it, and I've mentioned this previously, that Richie Port rides a pretty low cadence, I think. In 2020, he rides a low cadence relative to other Grand Tour riders. And I think, Egan Bernal rides a low cadence as well. But I think Richie Port's low cadence is maybe a reason why he's not really suited to 3-week races, and he always has a bad day. I think that's the predominant reason. He's riding, it is, I think, unusual to be riding in VO2 max power zone, or even in the anaerobic zone. He was doing, like Willunga, he does like 600 watts when he attacks for like 90 seconds. Crazy watts. Paracombe as well, 3 to 4 minute climb. We'll have a look at his Strava in a second. But he put I think he put 5 seconds into the Impy group. Now, that's not really the interesting part of today. The interesting part today, for me, is what were Mitchell and Scott doing? What was their strategy? Because Richie was, in this same scenario, Richie was clear on the stage today in 2020. He was clear, gaining time on Daryl Impey. But Mitchell and Scott instead sent, or maybe they didn't send, but it's what happened. They sent up the climb, Yates chased. And by virtue of Yates chasing, he actually took up, and it's not that, oh, well, he wasn't there to help Impey. That's fine. The climb, it's like a 10% climb. He's not really chasing, he's not really going to help him that much. It's not like an alpine climb where, yeah, it's good to have teammates around you. But this was a short climb, every man for himself. It was that, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, did Yates take away some intermediate bonus seconds from Daryl Impey? And as I said yesterday, and thank God I've seen nothing in the chat, the audio seems to be working okay. But the Tour Down Under often gets decided by 2 seconds here, 1 second here, maybe even by countback. And now when we look at, where are we? When we look at the general classification, now Richie Port's 6 seconds ahead of Daryl Impey, and I think Yates cost Impey a second or two chasing Richie Port, and Simon Yates is 11 seconds. Now, the counter argument to what I'm saying, well, what I'm saying is they should have put all their eggs in the Richie Port basket. But the counter argument to that is, oh, sorry, let me, why is it not showing you that? Yeah, it's showing you that. The counter argument to that is, oh, well, it's actually better to have Simon Yates here at 11 seconds and Daryl Impey at 6 seconds. And then on Willunga, Mitchelson Scott will be able to send a two-pronged attack. They can send Yates up the road, Impey can sit on Port, and then, or vice versa. They can actually have a two-pronged attack rather than just one of them trying to attack Port. I think the problem with that strategy is I don't think anyone is going to be attacking Port and keeping him away. Willunga's like 7% as well. It's pretty steep. I reckoned it with Peter Sagan back in the day before I was a corporate boy. I don't think anyone's going to be really attacking Port, and Port will be able to bring them back. Port's going to do massive numbers on Willunga. We know he's the king of Willunga, and now people are calling him the Prince of Paracombe because he's won there twice. So I think they would have been better off trying to protect Impey, trying to gain intermediate seconds, put all their eggs in one basket with Impey, and try to win the same way they did previously, where they just accumulate enough seconds and try and hang on and don't let Richie Port gap them enough on Willunga, and that's what happened the other year. So that was stage 3. Steep climb, steep finish, crashes on Gorge Road, Richie Port doing Richie Port things, which was winning on Paracombe, and that's all you need to really know about stage 3. This was 2017. F's in the chat. I need a lot of F's in the chat right now for our boy, and I said it the other day, and I mean no disrespect, and people say, oh, don't disrespect the OG, but Phil Leggett, man, like, it's because I respect Phil Leggett and the work he's put into cycling for decades. It's because I respect him that it's like uncomfortable watching someone who, like, he shouldn't be commentating, man. Like, let's be honest, like, he shouldn't be doing it. And I'm not saying because I should be in there. No, like Matt Keenan, I think Matt Keenan's just having a break. Like, obviously Matt Keenan and Robbie McEwen is the best English-speaking commentary team in the world, in my opinion. This is actually, it was the Subaru stage today, actually, stage 3. But yeah, just seeing Phil Leggett, if you watch the live stream, if you watch the live race, or if maybe it's in the highlights, I don't think it's in the GCN highlights, but yeah, Phil Leggett was counting the seconds when it was a slow motion replay, and it's like, it's just, you just don't want to see it, you know, like, just let's everyone realise where everyone's at, and, you know, Tour Down Under is a big event. Let's have treat it with the professionalism it deserves, I guess. Anyway, tomorrow is stage 4 at Murray Bridge. Let's get on to, here we go. Let me know if you think I've already improved my live stream capabilities this is my 3rd one in a row, and this is the sort of format I like doing. Have I already improved it in 3? I think the flow's better. The audio's now fixed. The camera's looking good. And we've got, you know, bit more flow. Tomorrow, Murray Bridge, that's sort of way out in the hills of Adelaide. Starts in Norwood, 153 kilometres. I think there's always going to be climbing in the Adelaide hills. Goes out to Mount Pleasant. This is all farmland. You're going to see a lot of bird forest tomorrow. Unfortunately, very sadly. But we've had some rain at the moment, or particularly in Brisbane, we had a lot of rain recently. You may not see it, and you may be wondering why I'm wearing pajamas, but it's like 31 degrees, 90% humidity in Brisbane right now because it's so rainy. But tomorrow, that's the sort of route. Let me see if I can see the stage profile. There's the final. Oh, come on, tell me the profile. Where is the profile? Oh no, it's gonna show me the profile. There's a climb tomorrow, so I think there'll be. Yeah, there we go. Will there be a shake up in this climb? And, you know, actually matter for GC? Not at this point of the season, I don't think. I think it'll probably be another sprint as well into the finish. But it won't be, the countryside won't be looking as good as that, unfortunately. Let's see if we can go back to that stage profile. Who's your pick for tomorrow? Sam Bennett's not looked crash hot. Diego Ulissi, obviously today, Diego Ulissi, he was the first one to actually shake it up on the climb and attack first on Paracombe. Who do you think's going to win tomorrow? In fact, let's on the fly. Let's have a look. We've got some other news as well today. We've got Chris Froome going to the UAE tour, but let's go to Sportsbet. I don't know why they don't have. You know, my streams, they like, whenever I go onto Sportsbet, they automatically try to demonetize the video. Probably quite rightly, because they think, you know, why am I advocating gambling? But it's only as an indication of who I think will win. I don't think they have the market. Anyway, I don't know who's going to win tomorrow, honestly. Probably Ewan, because it's going to stay back together, and Ewan looks the sharpest, to be honest. Thank you, Cycle Nutter, saying like the video, guys. Liking the video actually does help it a lot afterwards, because as I mentioned, when I leave this uploaded, YouTube just buries it because the thumbnail looks terrible and whatever, but when you actually like it, it makes a big difference afterwards. So they're the GC standings. What was I going to show you? Oh, okay, Richie Port. I was going to show you Richie Port's Strava data. He doesn't have his power data up, unfortunately, but we can have a look at how quick his time was today. And I also, more importantly, want to talk to you about the narrative about does Richie Port peak in January, and compared to, okay, analysis, here we go. Let's have a look at the lad's cadence. So on the final climb, let's see if I can isolate it. Final climb. There we go. It says 80. It says 80 cadence. Am I high? That can't be right. This is a lie. This can't be right. Surely, if anyone was looking at, am I delusional? He didn't look like he was doing 80 cadence, right? I thought he was doing like 60 cadence up the climb. I'm shook. I'm shook by that. But basically, like I thought Port was doing 60 cadence up Paracombe. Maybe, 77 cadence apparently for. Oh, have I missed a bit? That's the finish. Oh, here we go. I've got to isolate it more. I got too much. It says 50 cadence for the last bit. Oh, I think there's something weird going on there. That's really strange to me. So that's not as helpful as I thought it would be, or interesting, because I don't know. That just looks cooked to me. And I've looked at a click on the segment to profile. Nah, I reckon. I don't know. Anyway, more importantly, all of you, I know a lot of people saying, oh, Richie Port peaks in January because he does so many Ks. And I looked at it, and obviously I can't see his power data. So I got to point the other way. No, point this way. Yeah, point that way. So I can't see his power data in all these rides. And I took a look at them at about Christmas to see, is he doing a lot of Ks? Because I thought about it again. And I thought, and there's also the counter narrative that Alejandro Valverde doesn't like training, doesn't do too much training. But then I went and looked at their data, and he's doing pretty much the same Ks as everyone else during this time. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, 930. But Valverde did a 900-kilometer week before Christmas as well. Quinn Simmons, riders like juniors like Quinn Simmons, or juniors neo pros like Quinn Simmons, they're doing monster Ks too. And yeah, I think Ineos are doing the same thing. Pavel Sivakov's doing the same thing. I don't think, maybe he's doing a little bit more anaerobic intensity or VO2 max work. Maybe. But I don't think Port does his training's too different in December. I think it's just the nature of the beast that he's like Jakob Fuglsang. Don't try and put a square peg in a round hole. He's a 1 week stage rider, and he's really good at certain types of climbs. And another thing I want to sort of talk about is, everyone, Richie Port, he dominates on Willunga, he dominates on Paracombe. Well, it's like, it's great, he's doing really good numbers and all that. I agree, but who's there as well, and who's motivated themselves? Like, he is competing up this climb against Diego Ulissi, Jay McCarthy. He's not there competing against Primoz Roglic, Alejandro Valverde, 2015 Dan Martin, Jakob Fuglsang. So he's tallying them up. Well, he's putting 5 seconds into people, 5 seconds into Robert Power, but he's getting a perfect lead out. Got a really good lead out from Trek teammates today. and he's doing what he's supposed to do, man. Like, he's not competing against the top guys who are also primed and peaked, who have the best, 3 to 6 minute power in the world. So I think those are the factors why Richie dominates in January. I don't think it's just because, like, that's what he peaks for and he doesn't care about anything else in the season. But anyway, that's enough about Richie Porte. All right, I'm sure you've heard enough about that. Let's have a look at our lad, Chris Froome. Chris Froome's announced he's doing the UAE Tour next year. This is next race, UAE Tour. I'm learning. I haven't figured out how to get the audio on this through to you, but he's doing UAE Tour. Check that out on Instagram. Basically him saying, yeah, I'm doing it. Chris Froome doing some wholesome Instagram selfies at the moment. Don't mind it. How he'll go in UAE Tour, I don't know. Probably not great, in my opinion. The funny thing that happened today in the cycling world, I'll comment here. How do you think Chris Froome will do in the UAE Tour? I mean, yeah, I don't think he'll go great, to be honest. The funny thing today was this. I'm not sure if you've seen this. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen this. Lance Armstrong announced, and I'm not like a Lance hater. It is what it is. He's hustling for some money, right? The Mallorca Tour, the Move Mallorca Tour. I was like, that looks fine. Like, yeah, sure, you want to ride with him. Like, if you want to, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. I got no problem with it. If I saw Lance riding past, I'd sprint up to try and sprint up beside him to have a chat if I could. But would I pay $30,000 US? $30,000 US dollars. Greenbacks. US dollars. Not Australian Zimbabwe currency. The answer is no, I wouldn't pay that. That is wild, man. And Hincapie. 6 nights, 5 days of riding at Mallorca. Not an expensive place to get accommodation, by the way. Because half of you watching have probably gone to Mallorca. If you're from, half of people watching is probably from the UK. You've probably gone to Mallorca. 6,000 US per day of riding. Man, I mean, if you got the money, I guess. But wow, what do you guys think of that? I mean, if people want to pay that, I guess they can pay it if they want. But the funny thing is, like, if you really want to ride with Lance, just get pretty fit and just go for a holiday or whatever in Austin, Texas, and cruise around with them for free. If you want to ride with pro riders, go to Tour Down Under, and you can ride with all the pro riders if you're pretty fit. So yeah, I don't really understand that. That's pretty wild to me. What else was I saying? Oh, sorry. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. I'm really excited for the Tour Down Under Stage 4 tomorrow. I think Willunga could be... I know it's looking like Richie Porte's going to win easily, but nothing's ever, set in stone with cycling. We've got the Vuelta a San Juan starting, I think, in 3 days. GCN are live streaming that, so make sure... I think they've got a reminder set for that. Excuse me. I'm a little bit crook. It's 30 degrees. I've had the aircon on when I'm sleeping because it's too hot, but then it makes me sick because I'm asthmatic. Yeah, I got inhalers, no Kennecott. But I've lost topic. See, this is why I have to edit videos because my mind's kind of a bit cooked. But yeah, Vuelta a San Juan, who's racing that is Peter Sagan, so that'll be exciting. Tour Colombia starting as well. There will be videos on Tour Colombia, and also, more importantly, coming up shortly is the Milan-San Remo 2017 video. I think that could be one of my favorite races ever. Milan-San Remo 2017. That's the one where it was Kwiatkowski, Sagan, and Alaphilippe all in a 3 sprinting against each other. Such a good finale. Let's have a look at your comments. Simon Smith says, do you think Milan-San Remo will get cancelled? There have been some serious problems with the Poggio climb. It won't get cancelled, but they may remove the Poggio climb. And if they remove the Poggio climb, who I think should be favourite? Not favourite, but maybe for top 5. Caleb Ewan. Caleb Ewan could be the one. Do I think Yates can top port on Old Wollonga? This is Ben Jow in the comments. Do I think Yates can top port on Old Wollonga? Might be the reason Mitchell Scott brought him. Yeah, I mentioned that just before. Like, I do think, like, what do you guys think? Do you think it's irrational for me? Let's go back to the actual standings. Do you think this is a better strategy from Mitchell Scott, just circling back, to have Simon Yates in fourth and have that two-pronged attack? Or do you think they should have made sure they got all the intermediate sprint points for, intermediate seconds for Daryl Impey and just put all their eggs in that basket? What do you guys think? Because, yeah, I think they should have just done everything with Impey, because I don't think Yates is going to be able to drop Richie Port anyway. Go back to this. Timmy Ricks, how much would I have to pay you to ride with me in Brisbane? $0. I'll ride with anyone. Don't really mind. Jesus. Jay Vine Jay Vine is back. I'm scrolling up. Is Lance Armstrong providing the bike? They do provide a Pinarello for loan. Of course, it's a Pinarello as well. They know their target market. Pinarello. But you don't get to keep it. I don't think that. No way that would you'd get to keep it. Someone else thinks. I've heard Patrick Blake. I've heard that the Poggio is open and that it was fake news. Also, 2017 Milan San Remo was the best. Can't wait. I thought the Poggio literally got like washed away in a storm or something. Like, the structure is cooked. Absolute Cycling, aka the biggest troll in my life. But I love him. Do I own shirts that actually fit me? No, I don't. These are hand-me-downs from my father from like 30 years ago. Pro tip to being wealthy is don't spend any money on things you don't care about. All right, but that's all from today. Thanks for tuning in to another live stream. I really enjoyed making this. I felt like this was way better, so I really appreciate you guys bearing with me. By the time we get to the Tour de France, we'll have green screens, we'll have sponsors, we'll have just crazy shit going on. The audio's already better, so thanks for bearing with me. You guys are what help. When everyone comments the audio's out of sync, like, I find it frustrating, but I appreciate you telling me and all that. So really appreciate that, guys. Like the video if you did like this breakdown, and if you thought it was better than previously. And just keep trolling me on Instagram. For my channel membership, I have a few ideas, perks and stuff like that. What sort of perks I'll do. A private Discord chat is one of them, I think is on the cards. Obviously, I've got custom emojis. And maybe for a higher tier, if you're a higher tier channel member, you get to send in your GoPro video of your race and you get one race per month analysed. But haven't really figured it out yet. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.